Hello everyone, welcome to another tutorial. Today we're going to be taking a look on how to make a basic Halo level inside of 3D Studio Max. So in my last video I showed you the functionality of each mod tools that have been in the previous tutorial I did. I will put a card on the top right for you to click on if you really want to review what the tools do and stuff, just so you can have a good synopsis. So if you want to learn how the tools work, you can go to that card up above and take a look and learn about the tools. So I'll not cover it in this video, unfortunately. So just watch that, and if you get done with that, just come back to this video and we'll get ready to do some modeling in 3D Studio Max. Alright, so what we're going to do is pretty much when you start up 3D Studio Max, you have 4 different quadrants, or 4 different 3D viewports. The one that we're going to be concentrating on the most is this perspective one. So what we're going to do is we're going to click this plus button. We're going to click this button, maximize viewport, or you can do Alt W. It's the same thing, so you hover over this and, yeah, you get the whole idea. So what we're going to do is we are going to make a box. So pretty much it's similar to a cube, what we did in Blender. So what we're going to do is hold Control and hold, left click, and then you release and you set the height of this cube, or this box, should we say, and left click again, and you have formed a box. Now what we're going to do is we're going to hit F4, or you can go up to this menu to switch to edge faces so we can see our polygons better. So yeah, so we can just uncheck that. We can pretty much go to the modify panel, and then in here we're going to right click on this cube, convert to editable poly. And now what we're going to do is before we do any modeling or click on these buttons, we're going to scale this up quite a bit, like this, and maybe scale up on the y-axis. Yeah, just make sure you have scale uniform on, so you can, only constrain to a axis or whatever. So you can constrain to one axis like this. So then you would have some width, kind of like what the tutorial level that we're gonna make. So yeah, so this is kind of what we want here. We kind of want to make it big so we can fit the Master Chief in. But before we do that, we are going to flip the normals of this cube, similar to what we did in the Blender tutorial. So we're going to do Control A. So you hit this, Control A, and then up here you do flip, or you can go down here, I think. Well, yep, right here. So right underneath the Edit Polygons tab, you're going to click Flip, and this will turn black. And don't fret, we'll fix that. So on the right, so you right click on this cube, Object Properties, and you enable this backface cull check mark, checkbox that, and you should see inside the cube at any angle. So we have successfully done that. Now what we can do is we are going to run a script to putting in a cyborg model. So these scripts will be in the description for you to download. They're pretty straightforward to install. So I would recommend for you to get the GBX and the JMS model exporter, just so you can export them easier. You can convert them like I showed you in the last video through Tool. But to be honest, I recommend getting this script so you don't have to do plug and play every time trying to convert your FBX to JMS files. So anyway, now what we're going to do is, once the script is open, which is called the GBX model importer, which basically allows us to put like models, gearbox models that are used in Halo 1. So what we're going to do here is we are going to go into our mod tools folder. For me, I have a shortcut. I was just being lazy. So we go in tags, go to characters, and we should go to cyborg.gbx model, and then you open that. You could You can put any level of detail you want depending on the power of your computer. I just do super high. It doesn't really matter. We're going to uncheck these boxes that we're unselecting now, just so we can import it. And once you've done that, import GBX model. And now it has spawned or has put the Master Chief model in here. So if you want to select them, just make sure that you don't have any of these on, and you just click on them, and you can move them around and that sort of thing. So that will be your scale model. So now what we're going to do is we're going to shrink this down quite considerably, just for reference. The reason why I made you scale it up in the first place is so you can have a good idea of how big it's going to be in the level. So anyway, maybe scale it on the y-axis a little bit like that, and we should be pretty good. All right, so now once we have put the Master Chief in here, maybe I should put this in a different color. Yeah, so that would work. So now we're going to put materials with our objects. So in order to access that, we are going to go up to here, rendering. We're going to do material editor, and then over here we're going to do compact material editor. And then here you can have this. We're going to select this here. You just make sure this is selected, and then here we're going to click on this physical material button. And in this general tab here, you just click that to expand it. We're going to do multi-sub object. So we're going to just basically create a bunch of stuff. If you see this, just do discard old material, click OK. Now we're going to go to ID number 1. We're going to click on none here, and we're going to basically plug in materials. So physical materials will work fine. You can use the standard materials and the incompatible ones, but I'm not going to go mess with that. But physical materials will work just fine. So we're going to go in here, and the first thing we're going to type in here is +sky. It's very important you do that, because this will refer into Halo that the selected faces that we're going to assign here are skybox faces, where the skybox is going to get projected. So anyway, once you've done that, we're going to click on this little color thing here, and we're going to make it similar to sky color, kind of something that represents like this. And then we're going to click OK. And then up here, we're going to, you can call these little names however you want. You can call it skybox like this, and then yeah. So we're gonna go in here, physical material, okay. And here we're gonna type in example tutorial _ground. So exactly like that. I'll put in the description for you to copy and paste. That'll basically refer to a shader within Halo. And once we've done that, instead of doing the color, we are going to add a bitmap. So in here, we're going to look for bitmap, which is something like this right here. We're going to click OK. And then in here, we're going to go to our mod tools folder. And then we're going to go to tags, levels, test, tutorial, bitmaps. Oh, that's weird. Huh. I'm not sure why it won't show me the bitmaps in here. That's a little odd. Oh, I know why. My bad. We're going to go to data, levels, test, tutorial, and then we're going to do bitmaps here. And we're going to select this right here. This is what we need here. This is the bitmap we're going to be using, or the shader we're going to be using. So we're going to click open. And then in here, we're going to kind of go back individually like this, make sure it's set up like that, and we're going to call this ground. And you should be pretty good to go. That's pretty much the materials you're going to need. So now what we're going to do is we're going to apply the materials that we've put into our multi-sub object to this cube that we just generated. So now what we're going to do is we are going to click on this plus button, and then we're going to click and drag this material onto this box. And as you can see here, your results can vary. I mean, you just plop the materials and basically it will read the material IDs. But anyway, yeah, so we're going to click out of this. And now what we're going to do is we are going to go back to our little modify panel here. And in here, we are going to make sure all these materials are assigned correctly. So you scroll down here until you see polygon, material IDs, just make sure you're in polygon mode. And yeah, so this is set correctly. Now, when it comes to these, we are going to set them in the correct one. So we're going to put in 2 for, or no, not 2, 1 for skybox. And as long as it looks something like this, you should be pretty good to go. So it looks a little skewed. Maybe I can hit, what we're going to do is we're going to hit 4 again and kind of make this a little wider. Maybe something like this would work. You don't want to make it too big, but just enough where it's smaller. Where we're gonna get to the structure stuff in a later date, but yeah, it's kind of similar to how I did it in Blender. So anyway, we're gonna hit 4 on our keyboard. We're gonna click this face here, and then we're gonna tessellate it. So we're gonna find the tessellate button. We're gonna click the little box next to it, and make sure it's set to edge so it doesn't do the weird faces with it. And then we're gonna click apply. I'd say a few times. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so 3 should be enough for what we're gonna be doing here. So we're gonna hit 4, and then here you can also you can hold Shift and then left click. You left click once, and then you can drag over your mouse, and then left click again to finish it. And you can keep going with this if you like. You could just rinse and repeat like this. And you could also hold Control to add to the selection, but for me, since these are in a straight line, we can pretty much kind of do the shortcut of selecting these. So anyway, now what we're going to do is we're going to hit W for the gizmo here, and we are going to move this on the Z-axis slightly upwards, just like that. And now what we're going to do here is we're going to create the hills for it. Now, we also want to make the little mountain here where the Master Chief is. So what we're going to do here is we're going to move him over here. So we're going to move the Master Chief over here. And then here we're going to do vertex select. And then we're going to scroll down until we see soft select. I'm not sure why it's not. Oh yeah, so sometimes it pops up here if you have this up here, but you want to find soft selection here. So we're going to click that, and then in here, once you open it, use soft selection, and then in here you can adjust the value of the fall off, which means it'll increase the radius of how smooth it's going to pull up. So we're going to pull up on the Z-axis, and it will look something like this, but we don't want to make it too high. So we want to make it something like this, kind of like where the Master Chief barely can't see the other side. Kind of like something like this would work. So you can go a little taller if you want, but I mean it's totally up to you. But this is preferably how I do it. So yeah, and also for the hills, you can use edge select by hitting 2 on your keyboard or selecting that, and you can make these hills. Make like little soft terrain like this. I mean, I'm not crazy on this, but yeah. And then in here you can adjust the fall off accordingly. Kind of like this, how we're doing that, so we can kind of make softer hills, and it's not blocky and that sort of thing. So we're just kind of basically just making hills as we go, pretty much. So yeah, it's not gonna do so great. Okay, so now we are going to make this taller, and let's say we can make this slightly uphill here. And yeah, so I mean, you get the idea. I mean, that's kind of how it is. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, so you pretty much just move it up like this. I'm not the greatest when it comes to landscapes, by the way. I mean, yeah, so there's the hills. We can hit 2 again, and we're going to hit F4. And yeah, the hills look decent, so we can hit F4 again to make the edge faces appear again. Now what we're going to do is we are going to we're going to pretty much, I mean, pretty much the level looks good for the most part. Now, if you want to, as a bonus, you can, however, click on these faces here where the water is going to be, but I'll get to that in the advanced tutorial section, as well as portals, like a commenter has pointed out. I will get to those eventually. I just haven't made a tutorial out yet, so I'll get to that as soon as possible. So so now what we're going to do is we're going to tessellate. You only need to do it once, so we're going to hit OK. And then here we can do vertex select by hitting 1 and then holding Control and left click to manually select these faces. So we're basically just adding the little detents for the water. So we're going to move this slightly down. We don't want it to be too deep, but just slightly down enough, like this would work. Well, in this instance, it really doesn't matter, but yeah, that works. So the water is good there. Now what we're going to do is we should be ready for export. But before we export this, it's always a good idea to save the 3ds Max file. But I'm not going to save it in this case. But what I typically do is before you export it, you would do Control A, and then while you're in vertex mode, you're going to find the connect button here. So right here, connect, and what this will do is this will triangulate the faces. So yeah, I mean, you can do turn to poly with the modifier, but sometimes you would run into issues sometimes. So yeah, you could do it this way, but I prefer you do the connect portion, or the connect operation, so you don't run into problems with tool importing it. So anyway, now what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be opening the JMS script. So, or actually, no, before I do that, I keep forgetting to do this. Okay, so once you got it triangulated, we are going to make another box. And then what we're going to do with this box is, this is very important. So while you're in the modifier tab and you have this box selected, we're going to call this frame. So what this will do is this is pretty much the node of this level, the center point of this map. In later Halos, this isn't necessary, but for Halo 1, it is absolutely necessary that you have a frame for your level or any kind of model. You need to have some sort of node that resembles frame or whatever else, but we'll get to those in a later date. So anyway, we have our frame here, and we have our level. So we can call this level so we don't have any problems there. Now, if you want to make this easy so you can actually see the hierarchy of the layers, you can also right-click here, and then we can go Layers, and then click this box right here, and then you can close out of this little thing here, and then you can see all of your stuff in the 3D viewport. So now, once we have done that, we are going to link this we're going to link this level to the frame. So so this will be parented to the frame. So we're going to click on select and link here, and then we're going to hold left click and then drag it over to the frame. And as you can see here, now frame now the level is parented to frame. So you can hit W to get rid of that, and then you can unselect it, and now it's parented. So anything I move with this box will move along with it. So the level will move along with the frame because the frame is the parent of level. So level is the child of frame. So anyway, enough me, talking about that. Now we are going to export it. So now we can export this. We are going to go to scripting, run script, and then we're going to do JMS Exporter. We're going to open it. I would uncheck export vertex weights. I mean, I don't know what that does. Make sure this is on here, and then we're going to do export JMS data. And then in here, we are going to go to our Steam library, HCEK, which is the mod tools root folder. Go to data, levels. We could just pretty much make a new folder here. So what we're going to do here is we're going to call this 3ds Max test level, like I did up here. But for me, I'm going to do test 3. But anyway, you could just do it that way. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make another folder. We're going to do models. And then we're going to go into this folder and we're going to call it the same thing as we did. So test 3 for me. So you, for you, it's going to be 3D Studio or 3ds Max test level or whatever you want to call it. You go in here and then we're going to save it. And now it should successfully export the level altogether. So now we're going to use Osoyoos, which I will also link in the description. You could also do the tool structure command. I will just show this just briefly. So if you look above here, we're going to type in, if you're in command line, we're going to type in tool structure, and then we're going to type in the root destination of our level here, our new level that we're going to add. So this will look specifically for the data directory. So we're going to do levels. I think it's called test 3, and then /test 3. Or actually, no, we have to do test 3. So you have to do a space there. So basically the root or the source directory and the BSP name, which is test 3. So we're going to hit enter. And assuming if it goes right, you should see this. Just ignore this this error here. I mean, that's just normal. Now you should see, well, in my case, 592 surfaces and 329 vertices and all that garbage. All the stuff is in here. So all the materials that you used and, you know, portals, stuff like that will appear here. You could also do what's called a verbose argument, which basically will give you more input. So instead of this, it'll give you all of this information. But just for simplicity's sake, you can just do it without it. But for me, I like doing the verbose command. But anyway, that's enough of command line. We are going to go into Guerilla. So we're going to go run Guerilla. And then we're going to go to our tags directory. So go to tags within Guerilla. And we're going to open our scenario tag. So we're going to do levels, test 3, and then test 3 scenario or 3ds Max test, whatever it's called. You go into here, go to the scenario tag, and we're going to assign a tag or a sky tag. So we're right where it says skies. We're going to click add, 3 dots, go to tags again, and what we're going to do in here is we're going to go to the sky folder. You can pick any of these that you want. I prefer doing clear afternoon. So clear afternoon.sky open. So basically so the type here is basically the levels type. If it's a campaign or a multiplayer level, you do it here. But we're going to do multiplayer. You select that. Now we're going to scroll down here, and we are going to do we're going to scroll down until we see starting equipment, which is down here. So we're going to click plus, the plus button here, add, and then in here we're going to do all games and then item collection. So we're going to go to tags again. Item collections. So you're going to find that folder, single weapons. In this case, well, why not? Let's just do the pistol, maybe the rocket launcher. So we can do the rocket launcher as well. So we can do item collection, single weapons, rocket launcher. Yeah, there we go. So we open that. Now, pretty much all the stuff in here you can mess with later, but yeah, that's all you need to do in Guerilla. So what we're going to do is go to File, Save, or you can do Control S while having this maximized. So once we're done, we're going to exit out of Guerilla. And we're going to head over to Sapien. We're going to head over to Sapien. We're going to go to levels. We're going to go to test 3.scenario. And the level should be there. Now, by default, you're not going to see your level, and sometimes you have to go and dig and find it. I mean, you could do the Lightmap command, but in here, we're going to just do in Sapien just for making stuff quicker. I'm not sure why it did not load correctly. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to open our level again. I had a little bit of an issue. Sorry for the jump cut. But anyway, we're going to go to test 3. We're going to open it, and hopefully it will open this time. And there we go. So we got our level loaded in. Sometimes, so you got to move it around a little bit, so it would now you to move it around. So to move around the camera in Sapien, like I said before, you hold the middle mouse button and use the WASD keys and that sort of thing. You could just watch the Blender thing again to if you want to get a good grasp of what the tools are. But anyway, moving on. We're going to hit the tilde key, which is above the tab key, and in here we're going to type a command. So we're going to type in radiosity. You can hit tab to auto complete it. Quality. In this instance, I like to do final. That's just me, so I just hit 1. In most scenarios, people would use 0 as a draft, but for me, I just do it, final. So 1's final, 0's draft. But anyway, we're going to do radiosity again, but this time we are going to do radiosity start, hit enter, and once you see these 3 numbers reach 0 on the top left, as you see on my screen, we're now going to do the radiosity save command. So we're going to do radiosity save, and then hit enter. And voila, you have finally put your level within here. So you can see the level here, you can see everything that's in it. So yeah, all the stuff that all the hard work you did to make this basic level. So there you go. Now what we're going to do is, as a bonus, if you want to go run around in your map and use the tag test build, which I will show you, what we're going to do is we're going to place at least a spawn point or 2. So we're going to rotate this here, so you can rotate that in here, and we're going to put these to all games. Make sure that you can spawn in there. So you can put a couple of them in here, and now what we're going to do is we are going to add different weapons. So we can go to, actually no, we're going to do the item collections one. So we're going to do game data, net game equipment, and then item collection. Let's just say we'll spawn a lot of sniper rifles. That will work. So we can do that. So we're going to add a lot of sniper rifles. Actually, before we do that, I need to make sure that all these are correct. So we're going to do all games in here. Spawn time, I don't know, we just put in like 20 seconds. It doesn't matter what team index it is. And then we can spawn like a gazillion of them. And then Control S. And if you want to put a Warthog in here, you can. We're going to go to Objects, Units, Vehicles, add the vehicle tag. So you could just skip some of these parts. I mean, yeah, it's just a lot of tedious work. Make sure you do the MP Warthog one, because it's suited for multiplayer, not for campaign. So anyway, we're going to go in here, place the vehicle down in here like that. Now what we're going to do is we are going to make sure that this will spawn as default in here. Control S, and there you go. Now you got a vehicle in there. So now what we're going to do now is we are going to run this in the tag test build. So if you don't have Osoyoos, we're going to go to our mod tools folder here. Go to HTEK and then Halo tag test.exe. We're going to double click this and let it do its thing until when you see the main menu pop up. So it's going to take a moment here. There we go. So what we're going to do is go to hit tilde right off the bat, and we're going to type in map name space levels /test3. Well, for me it's test3, and then /test3 again. Hit enter. And well, we have a problem, but that's okay. We will fix that. We're going to hit tilde again. Game _ variant Slayer, and hit enter, and the command console will still remain open, and it accepted that command. So we're going to also type in map _ reset, enter. And there you go. Now you're in your tiny little level. And of course, the Warthog didn't spawn again, but that's okay. We can hit Alt-Enter again to put it in a smaller screen, and then we can kind of fix it. So we can do Slayer allowed, CTF, all that stuff, and then Control S, save again, and then you can hit up on the arrow keys to go back to the map name command, and it should spawn. And there we go. We've put that into the tag test build of Halo. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and found it helpful. Please leave a comment down below if you have any questions. I'd be more than happy to help you out. With whatever problem you're having. This is basically meant to serve as a refresher or somebody that's new to these tools that wants to learn more. So anyway, I'm going to end off this video here. I hope you guys enjoy my content, and I'll come out with I will come out with an advanced tutorial on how to add water, structures to your map, and scenery objects. So just keep this map handy for the next video's tutorial. So this is Heliotropic Plasma signing out. Have a great day.